It is time for my picks and predictions for week 15 of the NFL season. What is going on, y'all? Five Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL. And as mentioned, here to bring you guys my predictions. Can you believe it is already week 15, folks? Just 2 more weeks left in the regular season. It is just flown by. I'm obviously sad about it, but the content cannot stop. I will absolutely be doing playoff predictions and each round, and I might even do game by game. So with that being said, if you're new to the channel, man, welcome. Make sure to go ahead and subscribe by hitting the big red subscribe button down below and supporting the channel, guys. That helps me out a lot. I do weekly videos, so you guys are going to want to stay tuned. So go ahead and hit the bell icon to be notified every time I drop a new video. And while you're at it, follow me, guys, on my social media. Links down below for my Twitter, my Instagram. I'm trying to hit 1,000 followers. Would really appreciate it. You guys can always reach out to me on there as well. Ask me questions, whatever it is. So, going to give a quick recap of how I did last week in week 13, or week 14, excuse me. And then talk about, of course, my predictions for this week and give you guys my picks with these spreads, okay? So, let's get started. All right, so let me start off by talking about how I did last week. I did go 9-7, a positive week, but still not too happy with going 9-7 just because I felt like I forcefully picked or tried to pick too many upsets, of course, picking the Bills over the Ravens did not work out, just to give an example, but still overall positive. So add that to my record on the year, and that brings it to 127-77-1. Okay, so that is my record. That is good enough for about 62% correctly in terms of predicting the games. And so let's get on with it for this week. Again, 62%. I'm fairly happy with that, but still want to improve on it. Let's see if we can, obviously finish out the year strong. So with that being said, let's get started. We will start off with the Thursday night football game between the Baltimore Ravens and the New York Jets, in which the Baltimore Ravens are at home in this one. And real quickly, when I did glance at the schedule, initially, I saw a lot of, I would say, gimme type of games, a lot of layups in which it was fairly easy which way I was leaning towards. And then obviously after doing the research, it became even more apparent, folks. And here is one of those games, okay? It is a 15-point spread in favor of Baltimore. I am not surprised one bit. The Ravens have been the best team in the NFL, folks. I mean, if we're being very honest and we take a look at all of the other top-tier teams, and the Patriots, the Chiefs, the Saints, the 49ers, they have all shown chinks in their armor. They have all had lapses where they haven't looked as good. The Baltimore Ravens, obviously they have had lapses as well, but they've been the team that, since they've gotten over that hurdle, has been the most consistent. I mean, they have been the most consistent team by far in the NFL this season, and this is hot knife through butter, folks. And here's the thing. I've been defending the Jets for the past couple of weeks, saying this team is not as bad as people think. They have talent in Sam Darnold, Le'Veon Bell, Robbie Anderson, Jamison Crowder, just to give an example. But when you are going up against the Baltimore Ravens, I don't care how much I like the Jets. I will not pick them, okay? In fact, I think the Jets get steamrolled here. The 15 points is a lot, but here's the thing. I don't see how the Jets stay in this game at all. I mean, Sam Darnold has had a number of good matchups the past couple of weeks, and he hasn't been able to take advantage of them. So you get Baltimore on the road against the hottest team in the NFL versus one of the best defenses in the NFL versus the front runner for MVP. It's recipe for disaster for the New York Jets. I think the Baltimore Ravens just absolutely blow them out, and they win this game, and I will take it to 15 points just because I don't think it'll be close at all. Let's move on to the Seattle Seahawks at the Carolina Panthers. The Seahawks are favored in this game by 6. And here's the thing, folks. I might be swallowing a lot of points today because I feel that confident. And with the Seahawks, this is a team that is going to be obviously upset coming off a loss, a very much blowout loss to the Los Angeles Rams. They made me look bad because I picked the Seahawks to win that game. And they should be angry, and they should be trying to reclaim the division title back from the 49ers And I believe they do so here by beating the Carolina Panthers, who have just about given up on the year. Kyle Allen, we know he's not a franchise quarterback anymore. Christian McCaffrey is just about the only good thing on this roster for the Panthers. Okay, maybe DJ Moore as well. But defensively, they get pressure on the quarterback, but not much more than that. Russell Wilson should be able to get his way with this team, and they should be able to run the ball on the Panthers with Chris Carson, as the Panthers are the worst against the run in the entire NFL. So give me the Seahawks even on the road, and I will take the 6 points, folks. Okay, let's move on to the Patriots at the Bengals. The Patriots are favored in this game by 9.5, and folks, I'm doing it again. I'm taking the points. The Patriots are going to be angry and pissed off after they felt they got robbed in that game versus the Kansas City Chiefs, in which they lost, and they've been in some sort of a slump, and now we've got allegations that they've been taping the Bengals, coaches, and I'm just telling you this much right now. I don't bet against New England. Bill Belichick and Tom Brady coming off a loss. They're going to be ticked off, and the Bengals are just awful. They're horrible right now, folks. I feel pretty confident saying this. If you bet on this game, I would very strongly, I would take the points, 9.5. The Bengals going up against arguably one of the best defenses, or not arguably, one of the best defenses in the NFL for sure this season. I was talking about all the time, but this season for sure in the Patriots secondary. I mean, oh my goodness, this is going to be another game. Hot knife through butter. This is going to be a wrap, a blowout. Give me the New England Patriots here, okay? So I told you guys I would be taking the heavy favorites. I went from picking upsets to now taking the heavy favorites here. Let's move on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Detroit Lions. Detroit's given up on the year, folks. I mean, it is what it is. They have no shot really to win the division. And their starting quarterback, Matt Stafford, is out. So they've got a third-string quarterback, David Blau, starting. Even though they're at home, I still think they lose this game. The Bucs are favored by 3.5 in this one. Look, Jameis Winston's been up and down all year, but I still think this Bucs team has more than enough talent, even though they lost Mike Evans, to still win this game. They still got Chris Godwin. They still have Brashad Perryman, still have Ronald Jones. They can still find a way to win this game, not to mention the fact that they get pressure on the quarterback. So I believe the Bucs will win this one. Let's move on to the Bears at the Packers. Packers in this game favored by 4.5 in this one. Here's my first upset of the slate so far. The Bears are desperate. They're hungry. They're hot. They know what's at stake here. Their playoff lives. It's a division game. I always tell you, division games are tricky. This is in Lambeau, but I am taking the Bears to pull off the upset here just because of what's at stake here. And I know they know what's on the line. And like I said, the fact that it's a division game, folks, and you can never, ever be that sure about the division games. Perfect example, Monday Night Football, Giants-Eagles. Everybody thought the Eagles were going to blow them out. Giants literally had it, and the Eagles literally took the last drive to win that game. So I'm taking the Bears in that one. Let's move on to the Denver Broncos at the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs in this game favored by 10.5. Okay, the Broncos looked impressive last week. Drew Lock looked very good, okay, against a Deshaun Watson-led Houston Texans team. I mean, he was able to put up points. Spread is 10.5. It's in KC. I want to take the points again with Kansas City, but you know what? Denver's offense and their defense, really, because their defense is still respectable, has shown me just enough to where I think they can cover. I absolutely think they can cover in this one. Obviously, the Chiefs will win this game, but I will take the Broncos to cover that 10.5 point spread. Let's move on to the Miami Dolphins at the New York Giants. I mean, I don't even want to talk about this game. I mean, both two awful teams. Spread is minus 3.5 in favor of the Giants. Eli Manning should draw another start. Daniel Jones is supposed to be out for a few weeks. So, I mean, really, folks, I don't know why the Giants are getting favored by 3.5. I mean, it should be literally like a pick-em or a 1 point spread, but I guess that's what Vegas thinks. Giants did look good against the Eagles, but again, I don't know how much of that I'm supposed to take away. And the Dolphins, even though defensively they've still been awful all year long, offensively with Ryan Fitzpatrick, they have obviously been much, much more competitive. I'm tempted to take the Dolphins here, but I do think the Giants somehow pull it out. I think Eli Manning, now knowing that, I think he's 116, 117 now in his career, he wants to get back to having it either be a tie or get on the winning track. So I think the Giants pull this one out, but again, it'll be very close. I think I'll take the Dolphins to cover. Let's move on to the Houston Texans at the Tennessee Titans. Now, this is going to be a good game, a showdown for the AFC. In this one, the AFC South. I'm sorry, I lost track of what division. The AFC South, and this is going to determine a lot in terms of who wins this division. And the Titans have been red hot, folks. I mean, Ryan Tannehill has become a Hall of Famer somehow over the last 6 or 7 weeks since whenever he took the starting job. And Derrick Henry, you can't stop him. He's a truck, okay? He's a bowling ball. So this is tough for me. But I picked the Texans to win the division before the season. I still will obviously take Deshaun Watson over Ryan Tannehill, but the Titans are hot right now, folks. Here's my thing. They're at home in this one. They are favored by 3, but I don't see any way the Texans win this division if they lose this game. So I have to stick with the Texans in this one. So that's what I'm going to do. I think Deshaun Watson somehow pulls it out. But the Titans have been hot, man. They've been red hot. I won't be surprised at all if they win this game. Let's move on to the Cleveland Browns at the Arizona Cardinals. Cleveland favored by 2.5 in this one against the Cardinals. I like the Browns to win this one now. They beat the Bengals last week, which, again, the Bengals are awful. But the Cardinals aren't much better, folks. I know they're a little bit better offensively with Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury, but the Browns should still be able to do whatever they want offensively, move the ball with Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry. I know OBJ is hurt, but it's a dome environment in Arizona. I think the Browns should be able to absolutely steamroll the Cardinals in this one. I will take the 2.5 and the Cleveland Browns. Let's move on to the Eagles at the Redskins. Eagles are favored by 4.5 in this one, and the Redskins have looked decent of the last couple of weeks, folks. They even had a game against the Packers in which they made it close last week, okay? So I will take the Eagles to win this one because the Redskins are still bad, but they are competitive now at this point. So 4.5, I'm tempted to take the Redskins to cover just because the Eagles have looked awful as well. And they're possibly out Alshon Jeffrey, Nelson Aguilar. So they're running out of receivers. It's literally Zach Ertz and who else? So I'll take the Eagles to win this game, but I think I'll take the Redskins to cover. And again, division game, they're always tricky. Let's move on to the Jaguars at the Raiders. Raiders favored by 6.5 in this one, and the Jaguars look like they've just about given up on the year. Really nothing to play for at this point, so I'll take the Raiders here. They are still in competition for a wild card, and they are coming off, very disappointing losses. Favored by 6.5, I think they can do it. The Jaguars' defense has just been awful ever since they traded Jalen Ramsey, and I think the Raiders should be able to do whatever they want against them. Give me the Raiders and the points in this one. The Vikings at the Chargers. This is going to be another interesting game. The Vikings favored by 3 in this one on the road. Fun fact, the Chargers beat the other NFC North teams. They played the Bears and the Packers, and I'm expecting them to do it again. The Chargers are a weird team, folks. They're really talented, but they're very inconsistent. And here's the thing. With the Vikings being on the road, I believe Phillip Rivers is literally playing for his job right now. He came out last week, and I predicted the Chargers to win that game because I know that Rivers was going to want to show out and show that he still has it, and he's going to want to do it this week again. I know they're out of playoff contention, have nothing to play for, but hey, they can play spoiler for some team, and I believe they can do it here with the Minnesota Vikings. If this was in Minnesota, I would have picked the Vikings for sure, but I'll take the Chargers with the upset. Let's move on to the Rams at the Cowboys. It is a pick'em. You guys know how I feel about the Cowboys. They're fraudulent. They have not beat a winning team all season long, so why am I going to start now? Give me the Rams to win this one, even in Dallas. The Cowboys season, obviously, to me, is going to be over because I believe the Eagles will win that division, but I just don't trust the Cowboys at all, even at home. And this should be good for Cowboy fans because the more losses means closer Jason Garrett is to getting fired. Let's move on to the Atlanta Falcons at the San Francisco 49ers. Spread is -11 for the 49ers in this one. They should be able to win this game, but Atlanta still has some talent on offense. in Julio Jones and Austin Hooper. But here's the thing. If they end up getting ruled out, like I think Calvin Ridley's out for the year, then give me the 49ers and the points in this one. Actually, you know what? Just give me the 49ers and the points. Obviously, I was going to take the 49ers to win this game, but I thought about taking the Falcons with the points. But I can't do it. I can't trust the Falcons. Give me the 49ers with the points. Should be fairly simple, folks. The Falcons' defense is awful. Overall, they're just awful. Sunday Night Football, Buffalo Bills at the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers have been red hot thanks to the Steel Curtain 2.0 and Duck Quack Hodges, okay? But it all stops here with the Buffalo Bills coming to town. I believe the Bills are going to be angry. They're going to be mad coming off the loss to the Ravens, and they're going to take it out on the Steelers. Yes, their defense is good. This is going to be a low-scoring affair, but give me Josh Allen and that offense over Devlin Hodges and that offense, okay? So give me the Buffalo Bills to win this game outright, even though the Steelers are favored by 2. And finally, the Colts at the Saints. Saints are favored by 9.5 in this one, folks, at New Orleans in the Superdome. Obviously, I'm going to pick the Saints to win this game. They still, even though they've wrapped up the division, they're still the number 1 seed on the line here. Spread is 9.5. I'll take the Colts because they're fighting for their playoff lives as well. But give me the Saints to win this one because, like I said, they to me are obviously the best team in the NFC. So there you have, folks, my picks and predictions for every single game in Week 15. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree. Leave a comment down below. As always, thanks for watching.